Hi, my name's David. I own and operate Country Whatnot Gardens here outside of Rochester, Indiana, which is an hour south of the Michigan state line. And directly behind me, we have the plant, the legend, Phyllostachys aureosulcata. And it's been the topic of a lot of debate. I know some states have actually outlawed this species. Question is why? I think a lot of it has to do with people planting an inappropriate plant in an inappropriate place. They see a bamboo plant, I think a lot of times in a nursery, and it's maybe perhaps a single culm, and they have the perception that that single culm is going to grow something like a tree, that will remain one culm, and that one culm will continue to grow larger in diameter and get a lot taller, just in the same way that a tree does. And they think, oh, a bamboo tree, I would love that in my garden. But as we can see, bamboo is not a tree. It is in fact a grass. It is a member of Poaceae. And just like corn, rice, wheat, all the familiar cereal grains, and as we can see, it does not remain one culm, because when you buy a bamboo plant, you're not buying a single culm. You're buying a chunk of sod. Those roots will become a network and become all that we see behind me. And right here is a culm. I don't know if I can find any distinctive pattern to it this time of year, because the pattern on these pattern bamboos does tend to fade out as the season progresses. But this species is known for having a green culm and a yellow sulcus. I don't know if I can get this one. Shows it a hair bit. I don't know if it's going to show it on camera or not. But it's green over here, and in the groove, the sulcus, it is a slightly more yellow color. I don't know if that's picking up or not. Now, I know that this can reach heights greater than 30 feet, which means your rhizomes can extend outward from the edge of the grove across the lawn 30 feet underground before they need green growth on there to photosynthesize and sustain them to grow further out than that. Now, if you allow green growth to grow, it will extend on out. If you keep it mowed, it will curb that growth and keep it at that same height as the culms are, as the same length rather for the rhizome as the culms are high. So here we have a grove that is maybe 16 foot tall, the tallest culm. So it can come out easily 16 feet in the lawn from the edge of the culm out here, or from the edge of the grove, excuse me, that far before it needs green growth to sustain it. Now, over here, let me show you an example of what not to do. Here I have a holly bush. Right down, let's see, can I get it in there? There we go, holly bush with some aureosulcata growing in it. So I need to get my garden loppers out here and lop that out, because if I don't, I'm extending my rhizome range out under the lawn, and that will then allow the plant to produce shoots next spring further out into the lawn, because I have allowed this growth right here. That's not the plant's fault. It's my fault for not getting my garden shears out here and doing it. I need to do it. Shame on me. So let's not blame the plant for things that we're guilty of, because the plant is just doing what it does. It's our job as gardeners to know the plant, understand it, and grow it accordingly. Now, if we come over here, we can see some of the top kill damage up in there from last winter. Now that will help keep your grove shorter, you can see up there, which will also shorten your rhizome length under the lawn. Shorter culms, shorter rhizome. So if you live in a climate where a species of bamboo such as this top kills, and it's keeping your culms shorter, it's also doing you a favor in keeping your rhizomes shorter. Because if I had 30-foot culms back there, I would have rhizomes 30 feet out underneath my ground, unless I put in an HDPE barrier around the grove, which is entirely possible, and I would recommend that if you live in a tight setting with a small yard and still want to grow a bamboo like this, or a sulcata, or any of its clones, aureosulcata, spectabilis, harbin inversa, maybe even harbin to a lesser extent. Harbin has been so slow for me. It really has, and it's been more delicate. So, um, you know, your mileage may vary. Do what you feel is right for your setting. But for Aurora sulcata here, if you have a small setting, I would definitely suggest an in-ground barrier for it. If you have more room, you can mow it to contain it, like I do, or you could disc it. You can not plow, disc, because that cuts the roots. A plow will rip up the roots and drag them all over the property. A disc will cut your roots. So this one I would place in cold hardiness, I think less than spectabilis, and I believe a hair bit less than aureosulcata. Probably almost on par with harbin inversa, and it's much more cold hardy than harbin, because harbin has not been top hardy for me here at all in my climate. Harbin has been very, very delicate, and it apparently likes it a lot warmer than what northern Indiana can provide. But anyway, this plant behind me has been, I think, unjustly accused of its reputation that you can find online. Phyllostachys aureosulcata is not an invasive monster unless you allow it. It's I point to myself. It's our fault if it does this. It's our fault. It's not the plant's fault. It's our job to keep it trimmed. See, I can't mow underneath the holly bush, so I didn't get it, and I need to get my pruners in there, which I will do before spring, before it wakes up from sleep and sun starts hitting it and it starts actively growing, because I don't want to nourish those roots that's connected to, right? So anyway, until next time, I hope I demystified particularly this species of bamboo a little bit. It's not horrid, and it doesn't really deserve its reputation. Grow it like you would any other, grow it, mow it, disc around it, put a barrier in, or give it its space if you have acreage. I will say that left to natural devices, it would be easily outcompeted by mulberries and silver maples, because this particular bamboo, aureosulcata, we have to be very diligent about cutting out silver maples and mulberry seedlings from this grove, because they get in there and you don't know that they're in there until they start towering above the grove and shading the grove and actually hurting the bamboo. So our own species, our own silver maple, can overtake this bamboo. Mulberries, I know the white mulberry, it's introduced. I believe it's an introduced species, and it's been now, I believe, banned in Indiana, which is good. Mulberry, I can't stand mulberries. Mulberries are worse than bamboo. They really are. Not only do they travel by root system like a bamboo, but worse, deeper. Birds self-sow them everywhere. Bamboo doesn't get self-sowed because it flowers once every 60 to 120 years, and even then viable seed can be rare. A lot of the seed might not be viable, and of course if a bird eats it, it's digested by the stones in the gizzard, the grain, more easily than the little fine mulberry seeds, right? So the fact that it can be overtaken, aureosulcata here, that is, can be overtaken by silver maples and mulberries, I think says a lot for it, at least in our climate. It'd be different maybe down south where it grows taller. But anyway, I hope I've helped with clearing up some stuff about this species, Phyllostachys aureosulcata. And until next time, have a great day and take care. Thank you for stopping by. Bye.